Alright folks, welcome back to Just Podding Around, where we talk wrestling history, chaos and everything in between. Grab a drink, settle in, and today we're stepping into the cage. Not just any cage, the double ring, steel wall monster known as WarGames. This isn't your grandma's wrestling match. This is Dusty Rhodes' wild imagination brought to life after watching Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. So, buckle up, because we're diving into one of the most legendary, most brutal, most who the hell thought this was a good match types in wrestling history. So, what is WarGames? WarGames is a specialty match first created in 1987 by the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. And leave it to Dusty to look at a dystopian apocalypse movie and say, yeah, we need that in wrestling. The original concept debuted on July 4th, 1987 in Atlanta during the Great American Bash Tour. Picture this: 2 rings sitting side by side. One massive steel cage built around both rings. A roof on top, because apparently Dusty wanted to make sure nobody had any bright ideas about escaping. It was chaos in a box. A match built to trap factions, force violence and settle feuds with absolutely zero chance of anyone bailing when things got spicy. So here are the original rules for that match beyond. Back in the NWA and WCW days, WarGames had a very specific rhythm. Here's how the OG format went. 2 wrestlers start, 1 from each team. They fight for 5 minutes. Then the team with the advantage, usually determined by a coin toss that the heels mysteriously won 98% of the time, sends the next member. For the next 2 minutes, it becomes 2-on-1. Then the other team sends a member in. This alternates every 2 minutes until everyone is inside the cage. And here's the kicker. The match doesn't officially start until everyone's in. Dusty called that moment the match beyond. And the only way to win? Submission or surrender. No pinfalls, no climbing out, no DQs, no oops, I fell out of the ring. Someone had to tap out or outright give up. It was basically a giant hostage situation, but with suplexes. WarGames became a WCW attraction through the late 80s and 90s, especially at Full Brawl. Here are some of the highlights. In 1997, we had the first WarGames. The 4 Horsemen versus Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff, the Road Warriors, and Paul Ellering. JJ Dillon got sacrificed to the wrestling gods that night, and the babyfaces walked out victorious. From 89 to 92, we had the classics. 89 saw WarGames hit a pay-per-view for the first time. 91 brought Sting's squad taking down a stacked Horseman lineup. And in 1992, Sting's Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance gave us one of the greatest WarGames matches ever put on TV. 1993 to 1997, everything from great to Shockmaster. 1993 gave us the Shockmaster's legendary Oh No debut. You know the one. WCW kept the match strong until 1997, when things got experimental, and not always in the good way. 98 to 2000 were the weird years. 3 teams, triple cages, Vince Russo doing Vince Russo things. By the time WCW went down in 2001, WarGames had been shelved, and honestly, it probably needed a nap. Then we got the WWE NXT Revival, or WarGames 2.0. WarGames returned from the dead in 2017, brought back by Triple H for NXT. This version kept the double rings, keeps the staggered entries, but makes some changes. No roof, so people can dive, climb, moonsault, and do things that make your knees hurt just watching. Pinfalls now count after all wrestlers enter. 3-minute intervals between new entrants. Wrestlers wait in many cages at ringside until their turn, which looks like the world's angriest waiting room. Since then, WWE has gone all in. Survivor Series 2022 brought WarGames to the main roster, and both men and women now compete in it. NXT's 2019 Women's WarGames, Rhea Ripley leading her squad to victory, still stands as one of the most praised matches in the match's history, or the modern history at least. So, what makes WarGames special? WarGames is unique because there's 2 rings which no other match uses that setup. Team warfare. No tags, no eliminations, just full-blown gang warfare. Then there's the staggered chaos. The early advantage creates drama, momentum, and absolute carnage when the final member enters. One fall ends everything. Once someone taps or gets pinned, it's over for both rings and all 10 people. It's part strategy, part human demolition derby, part who's walking out of here in one piece. Dusty called it human chess. And honestly, it's more like human Jenga. One wrong move and the whole thing collapses. So here's some of the legendary feuds. And the match gave us some iconic rivalries. The Four Horsemen versus Dusty's Army, Sting's Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance, WCW versus the NWO, the Undisputed Era dominating NXT's early WarGames, the Bloodline Saga hitting WarGames at Survivor Series 2022. If a feud hits WarGames, WWE is basically saying, alright, we're finishing this. Nobody's going home clean. And there you have it. WarGames from Dusty origins to WWE's modern spectacle. 2 rings, 1 cage, a whole lot of violence, and one of the coolest match types ever created. If you enjoyed this dive, make sure you follow the podcast, drop a review, and let me know which match type you want broken down next. Until next time, this has been Just Putting Around, and remember, in life and in WarGames, try not to tap out too early.